Hi, everyone. It's Sara Finkelstein with an important message. As the author of Wisdom for Women, discover the challenges you must overcome to live the life in retirement you deserve. This book is a very, very easy read. It's about 100 pages in a big font, so you don't even have to put on your eyeglasses. And the chapter that I want to talk about today is about not becoming a burden to our children. You know, most clients that I speak with do say, I don't want to become a burden to my kids. A lot of people don't realize that healthcare costs in retirement is not just about Medicare, but it is also about the probability of needing long-term care. You know, we see individuals going shopping in restaurants with an aide. And by the way, you don't have to be elderly. About 40% of people that are receiving long-term care are those under the age of 65. But the statistics say that there's a 70% chance of people over the age of 65 will need long-term care. Now, some of them might need it for a very short period of time, and others might need it for a number of years. For example, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, those diseases could last a long time. So in the book, there is a whole chapter devoted to long-term care. I once had a conversation with my stepmother who had a lot of health issues, and she had an aide come in every day, 6 days a week, for years and years to help her with what's called the activities of daily living, those things that we take for granted, like bathing, eating, dressing, toileting, getting in and out of a chair, ambulating. Those are all the activities that we do every single day. We don't even think about it. We take them for granted. But when we need help with any of those activities is when we need a little bit of assistance. And one of the greatest challenges in living a happy, carefree retirement is the probability of needing long-term care. Most people are not planning for this tremendous probability. That's why I refer to it as a growing epidemic in our country. So if you don't want to become a burden to your children, or let's say you don't even have any children, like I don't have any kids. And so I have done the appropriate planning so that when the time comes, when and if that time comes, I'm prepared. Now, my plan is with my long-term care insurance, my plan, and you know what happens when you make plans. My plan is to hopefully never use my policy, but I know statistically, remember, 70% of those over 65 will need long-term care. The statistics, the probability of needing it is much greater than the probability of not needing any assistance. And I dealt with long-term care for my mother. I moved her down to Florida from New York. She was in assisted living for 6 years, followed by 2 years in a nursing home, a total of 8 years, which is way above what the average long-term care claim is. And the cost of long-term care, meaning when you have to pay for an aide to come into your home to help you, whether it's to help you or a loved one, varies. It could be as much as $20 or $25 per hour. If you need somebody for 8 hours a day, that's $200 a day. That's $6,000 a month. Do you have an extra $6,000 a month that you don't need, that is allocated for long-term care? Because if you do not, then what is likely to happen is you will use your retirement money to pay for long-term care. And after all, that's not what your retirement monies were meant for. They were meant to provide you with funds that you need in your retirement. One thing that happens frequently I find, is that people overestimate the cost of purchasing long-term care insurance. And just like all insurance, whether it's Medicare, whether it's long-term care, whether it's life insurance, it's pennies that buy many dollars of coverage. So we're able to pass the risk along to an insurance company. Now, we don't have to pass 100% of the risk along. We could pass along a portion of that risk, because if you have Social Security, if you have other income coming in, you don't necessarily need to pass 100% of the risk along to the insurance company. And you know what I find too is a lot of children, the adult children, are glad to pitch in to help for the premiums. Why? Because they know at some point they will be dealing with the long-term care needs of mom or dad or Aunt Sally. So it is always, I think, anyway, always better to have a plan in place than to have to deal with the crisis and to scramble of what are we going to do now? So I am Sara Finkelstein with Signature Advisory Group. I'd be very happy to explain to you, have a conversation, let you know how long-term care works, and determine whether or not it's something that you should plan for. I could be reached at area code 561-302-5760. My email address is Sara, S-A-R-A, at signatureadvisorygroup.com. And I would love to hear from you. Have a great day.